Hi, we are Dynasty and we were drinking red.
Yes, the red wine and that.
Has it already gone to your head, darling?
Oh, fuck off.
I could buy you dinner first if you want.
You know my one rule. You know my one rule. I don't have many, but I try to abide by that one. Mainly because, well, she didn't tell me she was married.
Anyway, do I have a story for you guys? Like always. It's about my shift yesterday. Schmur. So we're sitting around. I work as a go-kart marshal.
Which is pretty fucking cool, to be honest.
It is pretty cool. We're sitting around in reception because we don't have a break room. So we've got like half an hour to...
Did you know have break room?
We know have break room. I mean, we could hang out in the workshop, but the mechanics complain about losing their tools, which is what you sign up for when you're the fucking mechanic. I'm sorry. That's what you sign up for, your tools going missing. Every mechanic knows that.
Says the mechanic's daughter.
It annoys you, but you know you're going to lose your fucking tools. Anyway, we're in the reception hanging about, and we get like a few people coming in. So we get a family of two, a dad and a son. We get, I think, two other adults, and then we get this mother who, well, I'm assuming is a mother, but I also think now it was like someone leading a program. So we have these two roadmen. You know they were going to cause trouble.
Oh.
You knew, like, the moment they walked in.
Question, what type of roadman? There is different types of
The worst kind, like the designer kind, but the fake designer kind. The guys that, like, look clean, but aren't.
Okay,
You know, the, like, puffer jackets that look like bin bags?
Right.
Because they're so shiny. So they walk in.
So the I want to pretend to look hard kind of roadman.
Yeah, they've already done the waivers, which is usually a good sign, but I think the waivers were done for them. So they go in, they go do briefing.
Probably by the parole officer.
Yeah. Don't want to speak bad for them, but the experience makes me want to. So they go in, they do their shit, they come back out. I do their helmets up because everyone else is faffing about with the machines and all this other shit. And the guy with bin bag jacket has not taken it off. So first rule of going go-karting is you will overheat. You do not need a body warmer on top of your hoodie, t-shirt, and like tracksuit shit with a race suit on. You do not need that shit.
But roadman logic. But
roadman logic. So we put it on. They're fine. Like, they're quite polite getting into the cars and all this. So they're going round and they're speeding on orange. On orange, you're supposed to slow down to a walking pace. Because guess what? It means someone's crashed. It means someone's in the track trying to get them out of the crash. We have, I think, about 4 carts that are speeding. And this is the first. Within the first 5 minutes, I'm already yelling at them to slow down. Keep speeding again. Yell at them again to slow down. Do it again. I specifically pull over number 3. Tell him, slow down. If you do it again, you're going to be told to go into the pits and the race will be over for you. He speeds again. Tell him to go in the pits. He doesn't go in the pits. It isn't safe to stop the race, so I let him go around again. He starts speeding again. I tell him, from the marshal point, go to the pits. Doesn't go to the pits. Finally, he crashes into one of our employees who's just gone out on the track because he's finished his shift. He shouldn't really be on the track, but spaces allowed him to be on the track. Crashes into him. I see he's stopped. Run in front of him and go to the marshal pits. Louder this time. Like, not yelling, but like angry. Because obviously he's ignored me multiple times. He goes to the pits. He stops midway through the pits. So I get a call going, come over. Goes over. Leaves my spot unattended because I'm like, if they've told me to come over, someone better be watching my spot, right? He's in the pits. He's like, why am I here? I'm like, you were speeding. You've been speeding on oranges. You've been told 3 or 4 times on orange to slow down. You haven't. Then you were told multiple times to come to the pit and you didn't. You finally told to go to the pit and you did. You're now getting off this race. Obviously, slightly different words because I was trying to speed it up because I needed to get back into my point. So it takes him through, switches off his engine.
Pussy, I'll get out the... fucking car.
Switches off his engine, and I'm like, right, you can leave now. And he goes, what? I'm like, you can get off the track, leave. And he's like, am I going to get a refund? No, you broke the rules. It's like, I'm new to this. I wasn't here. I don't know. I'm like, you watched the briefing video, which said if you break the rules, we have the right to take you off. I'm like, I didn't say this, but you watched the briefing video. You understand what an orange light means, and you signed the waiver. All of this means you know what you signed up for. If you're breaking the rules, you do not have a leg to stand on. You started the race. You were told multiple times if you didn't slow down, you'd be kicked off. You are kicked off. You've already started the race. You were like little under halfway through. So he's done quite a bit of the race. He was smashing into children. Like there's one child on the track and he was already nervous and he was smashing into him. So I kick him off. He gets angry. He jumps up on his cart, jumps over the barrier. So we have the one wall of tyres on the pits. Then it's like metal fence. So he climbs the metal fence, jumps over. And he's swearing and all this. I turn around, make sure everything's turned off, takes his helmet off, slams it on the floor. And I'm like, I'm leaving it. He's telling me to fuck off and all this other shit. He walks off and then I end up back in the pits again for some reason. He then throws a pair of gloves at my head. And if that was in a normal day today and someone randomly threw gloves at me, I wouldn't consider it assault. But I'm working, I'm servicing people in a situation that I'm putting my life in danger because I could die. Like, I get hurt, I've fractured a rib doing this. It's a dangerous situation. Like, I need to be concentrating. So if someone in the gallery is throwing shit at me, that is assault. It's not just putting me in danger, it's putting the entire race at danger, right? So I'm like, I walk over to him and I go, really? And he goes, suck your mum. I'm like, that's it, sir. Leave the premises. I'm not leaving. You can make me leave. Now, usually, if your staff and your colleagues like you, they would step in and either get him to leave, right? Or, have a go at him.
Uh-huh.
Nope. He's pushing up nearly to jump in again. And between him and me are the gas canisters. So if he really wanted to, he could have pushed those onto me. None of my workmates said anything. They're just like, leave it. And I'm like, I can't. He's being aggressive. That means he's going to do something. So he leaves again. They go. At the end of the
wait. Nobody else did shit.
No one did shit. They were just telling me to calm down as if to say, stop being hysterical, you stupid woman. Like, that's the only reason I can come up with why they wouldn't defend me. That and the other guy hates me. But he hasn't shown any, like, it was like, you are being hysterical. No, I'm not. I'm asking someone to leave after they've assaulted me. I do not care if he didn't punch me. He threw something at me. I don't care what it is. I do not get paid to be assaulted. That is assault. I don't care what people say. I wouldn't press charges, but I still want an apology. If it's something bad enough to need an apology, if I tell him to leave the premises, he fucking should be made to leave the premises, right?
Sure.
So it turns out when I went back, because I had to keep working. They didn't take me off. They didn't ask if I was fine. No one cared until the end of the shift. But just before the end of the shift, I come in to the reception because he has to physically go through the reception to leave, right? Apparently, after he threw his suit at a member, like this guy who he had no way of knowing had any links to the workplace, he took off his racing suit and just threw it at him. Now, again, like the gloves, it can't do much damage. But, like, if that whacked a child in the face, if that hit anyone that wasn't just a member who was used to this, that's a lawsuit and a half, mate. Also, throwing the helmet on the floor. Like, if that's
minimum criminal damage.
If he threw the helmet on the floor and it bounced up and hit someone. If he threw the gloves and I slipped. If he threw the gloves and they had, like, a bit of grit in them. It's the same thing as throwing snowballs at someone's window or throwing eggs at a house. It still can do damage. You do not know until it hits. And if I turned around to look at him once he threw them and someone came into the pits and hit me, that's on him. I'm not saying it actually hurt me. I'm saying that on an active racetrack, you shouldn't be doing that. And you understand by the rules of the track that you should not be doing that. Anyway, turns out I do not know what's going on with him. I come out after I have to do 2 more races. I'm angry at this point. I'm still fucking fuming. I come out after 2 races and my dad's already there to pick me up. It's like 3 minutes until the end of my shift. So I come around and put the radio back. So I'm like, I'm not doing anything more. If they're going to be a dick about it, they can be a dick about it. I can't go on for another race because they'd have to pay me for a whole hour and they're not going to do that. I'm not going to go clean the suit rooms because they did fuck all to help me when someone assaulted me. And I'm not going to do like cleaning the bathrooms because they can get fucked. So I go in, put my radio down, and my boss is like, Ashton. Probably have to bleep that. I'll call him Ashy. Ashy, stand up. Let us sit down. It's literally the end of my shift. I'm not sitting around calming down for nothing for you. So I can predict there's probably going to be a talking to or someone say something next shift. If they don't, I'm going to be angry because it's like no one acknowledged it. Even the guy who saw me get upset, he was sat down in reception. He wasn't even on reception that day. Instead of being like, do you want to switch places? Because I know you're reception trained and you can calm down in there. You can have like a drink or something like that. No, this arsehole who's been an arsehole to me the entire time I'm there, who will go so much to have a conversation showing pictures to people and show it around my face, literally gives me a side eye when he's told to stand up so someone who's been assaulted can sit down.
Right.
Like,
to be fair, like, from what you've told me, like, these motherfuckers don't follow their own rules.
No, they don't. But the thing is, I don't care who you are. If you see someone so upset about something, it doesn't matter how hurt they were. I was upset. Be a decent human and at least ask, are you okay? He didn't. None of them did. Only one person, and that was the person that wasn't on shift, asked if I was okay. And he's like, that wasn't okay. That was not right. And like another member who was on the track afterwards, like, that man was insane. I hold to this moment now that if that man still had his helmet with him, he would have thrown that at me. The only reason he threw the gloves at me was because that was the only thing he had to throw at me. You do not throw something at someone in this day and age. You just don't, because you know you're going to get sued. So if he had his helmet, he would have thrown that. He would have.
Yeah.
I'm lucky because I got away with just the gloves. But even then, he was going to jump over and attack me. He was. It was just the fact that there was like 4 other people there. But I feel like if he kind of read into the fact that I knew those people weren't going to stand up for me, he would have done it. It's ridiculous. It's like, I work at this place and no one can even be asked to say how was your day or something. Like, it's just, it's not even, like, I get this guy's like 16 or something, but he's such a fucking arsehole. Like,
well, then he would have been sent to juvie.
No, that guy meant the guy that didn't ask if I was okay or anything.
Right.
But this road man, as I say, he was clearly, I think, so they were claiming the reason why they didn't do anything was because he was disabled. Now, I don't care what you say. Disability does it does give you like dismission. Like, it means that you can have a bit of like leeway in like right and wrong. However, this guy was trusted to go go-karting, was trusted to follow the rules, and then acted like a baby when he was told he was doing it wrong and he needed to leave. On top of that, when you throw something at someone, if you're that disabled that you can't understand when someone says, you have just broken policy, leave the building. If you cannot understand that, or you're going to act the way he did about it, yes, you still may have a disability. However, you are in breach of the law. It doesn't matter what you're doing, you've breached the fucking law. Like, he was swearing, he was throwing stuff, he knocked over a table in reception. Like, all this other shit. Like, even if he was disabled, and I'm putting that in quotations because I don't think he was, and if he was, it's probably something like ADHD or autism or something, but you are still a responsible adult. Like, if you are old enough to sign your own waiver, which I don't think he did, I think other people did it for him, but it's still his waiver.
Yeah, with you.
But also, it's the fact, like, oh, I didn't come here before. I hadn't come here before. It's a traffic light system. You watch the video. You can understand yellow means slow, red means stop, and if someone yells something at you, you should probably listen.
Green means go faster, kids.
No, green does mean go faster. However, you are told yellow, half race speed, or walking pace. Because people are on the track and need to be able to jump out the way if you come around a blind corner. It's not hard to get. It's like if you're going a walking pace and come around a blind corner and I don't see you, I've still got time to get out the way. So I don't end up with another fractured rib.
Yeah.
You
feel better now?
I feel better now because that was just ridiculous. But just to be told we don't want to start shit 'cause they're disabled. It doesn't matter if this guy's a veteran in the army and only has one leg. He threw something at me.
You really need to quit that place.
I need to quit, but there's no other fucking jobs.
Like, maybe start looking?
Trust me, I have. That's another thing. Did I tell you about the time I got called up a week before Christmas? So I got called up a week before Christmas to this restaurant in a town that I sort of grew up in. So this is a town I go over to see my grandparents, right?
Sure.
So I know it like the back of my hand. It's a nice town. It's upper class and it's quite expensive, but it's a nice town.
So you'd make a shitload of money in tips.
Technically speaking, if I did my job correctly, yes. However, I got called up after this place rejecting me multiple times, just straight up ignoring me. And they're like, hey, can you work Christmas Day? Because if so, we can hire you. Oh, I see. It's blackmail. So if I want a job, I have to work Christmas Day, probably 9 to 5. And I'd have to try and get back on public transport somehow.
Which wouldn't run on Christmas.
Which wouldn't run on Christmas.
Or if it would run on Christmas, it'd be very unreliable.
From this place to my place, which is an hour's bus ride, which, let me tell you, that bus is a fucking nightmare.
Wait, is this the bus
Nope.
bus that we're going to get to? I forget the name of the studio, but you know the one I mean.
Yes, but it is a nightmare unless you get on early in the morning. So early morning is sort of okay.
Huh.
Getting back is the hard thing.
Right.
On Christmas, that would be a fucking nightmare. So I was like, nah, he's like, then we can't hire you. And hung up. That's the thing now. It's if you cannot sacrifice everything for this job, we're not going to hire you. Fuck off. It's you can't call me a week before Christmas with no training because you know I have no training. They were just calling numbers they had in a hat, basically, because they knew no one. But you knew what was going to happen. They'd hire you for that day.
And then
a week later, they'd be like, oh, we can't sustain you. Or give you so little shifts that you have to go, no, I have to quit.
Yeah.
And they pay you a month later. So you get double the money, but you'd only work one shift. So, is it worth it? Because you get, what? £100 maybe for missing Christmas. Theoretically, I could have done it. The problem is it's just getting back. And theoretically, I wouldn't have missed too much because I still have, Christmas dinner the next day. However, yeah, it was one of those things where I was like, wow, really? That's what means I'll get hired if I work a day no one else will? That really proves I'm better than the rest. I hope they didn't get anyone.
Yeah, you just need to...
The thing is, it's not realistic to quit. Because it's just, nowhere else is hiring.
You need to fucking work at Tesco's or something, I don't know.
Do you think I haven't applied for that? When I say nowhere else is hiring or no one else is hiring me, I mean it. I actually apply places and they're just not.
Well, I dislike you having to put up with that degree of shit, I'm not going to lie.
This was the first instance of that,
Uh-huh.
I will admit. However, I can predict it's going to happen again soon. Like, this was the kind of shit that I do not judge a book by its cover. However, when they walked in, you could tell. It was like the other group, we had this bunch of people, and everyone's dropping like the P slur, like these travel. I'm not going to say it because I don't like that slur, but they come to the conclusion that these people were travelers, and like I could sort of understand it. I could sort of, I think I agree that they were. However, that doesn't change my opinion. That's not what was wrong with them. No, they were just assholes. There's nothing to do with the fact they were travelers. They were just rowdy,
also like
horrible people.
Those two things are connected, sort of, but they're not the same thing.
Yeah, it's like, I'm like, stop dropping that slur. You can literally say traveler. You can literally just say that. Like, you can still be as offensive as you want, but just don't say the slur.
I lost my virginity to a traveler.
But like, it was nothing to do with the fact they were travelers. It was the fact that they just weren't nice people. Like, there's two different things, like not being nice people and having a different background. These people, like, so first of all, it is Easter weekend.
Vibes.
We don't open till, I think, 11. This guy shows up at 10:30 when I'm walking in, chooses to ignore my colleague and wait until I'm midway opening the door. So I slightly close it because I'm like, there's this guy that's pulled up with quite a big van with no one in it, and it's just him. And I'm like, he's not a delivery guy. This is a bit sus. So I had the door like half closed and like me behind it because I'm like, what's he trying? He's like, hey, can I book on? And I'm like, okay, I can't let you through this door because it's staff only. I will walk up and around and see if I can get anyone to help you. So I go up, and my boss, the two-faced guy, he is, like, I don't think he means it, but he just does it so often, tell him, he'll just have to wait, we're not opening yet, he'll just have to sit there. 2 minutes later, he opens the door, lets him in. Anyway, so he lets him in, lets him book on. He obviously doesn't pay on the spot. And I'm on reception this day, and I'm like, glad I was, because these guys wait. So they come in, they pay for everything. They're already late. So they were like, oh, he told us 5 minutes. He told us 5 minutes. I don't care who told you what. Why do you think 5 minutes is enough to watch a safety video, get suited up and get your helmets on? And even if that was so, you showed up for your 12 o'clock session at like 12:05 with none of your waivers done. So I obviously go, look, I've got to go ask if I can get you on the 12:30.
Peak stupidity.
Yeah,
peak stupidity.
So I'm put in a weird position because the only slot we have left that day is 12:30, and I'm like, I can't commit to saying you can get on it, but do the waivers now. Use that QR code. Do the waivers properly. I'll go up and see if I can. Fucking hell, my boss says I could. So I have to get him to pay. Then I check the waivers. None of them have done it.
Because
they
of
were
course.
like, we did it. Like, you clearly didn't press or click suffix, then not gone through. Give me your names and ages. So they had to give me their names and ages. So I had to put those on. On top of that, turns out they only paid for 4 people because I wasn't going to sit around putting a 5th one on the fucking track. Because fuck that shit. Just let them go.
So you could have done it, but you couldn't be asked.
I could have done it to charge them more. However, also they complained because they didn't get the discount for that one, so I wasn't going to faff about with it. Give them gloves and balaclavas. One of them basically hides the balaclava right in front of me, and I'm like, oh. And he goes, can I have one? And I'm like, I'm not going to argue. I'm just going to give you one. And I'm like, here you go. You've got one. So they go into the briefing room. I send in another few people after them. One of them goes, I've ripped my balaclava. Can I have one? And I'm like, I've given you 2 already. Where's the other one? He's like, I just need one more. I'm like, I cannot and I will not give you any more after this one, okay? Any of you. So I go out. Turns out he's dropped his fucking balaclava on the floor. So I pick that up and give it to him. They finish the briefing and then go out and get suited up. Then, like, 10 minutes later, one of them goes around like, can I go and smoke outside? I'm like, yeah, you can go smoke outside. can I leave this shit with you? Fine, you can leave your shit with me. So they're leaving all their shit with me and all this other shit. And they go out to vape and I'm dealing with other shit. And then, like, one of the guys turns out to be vaping in and outside. And then they try and walk out the, like, briefing room door into the reception, which is a one-way door. And, like, it gets, like, so ridiculous. They finally get on the track and apparently they were absolute hooligans on this track. And then leaving again, they try to come out of the fucking reception one-way door. So they try and come out the briefing room into reception, which makes no sense because they still need to go get their suits off. Yeah. So I'm like, oh yeah, it's a bit steamy. If you go that way, you can take your suits off. They go take the suits off. Then they come and get the shit again, and they're still vaping inside. And oh my god! At least they left. And they weren't, like, violent or anything. Like, these guys were fine. Like, the thing is, like, my workmates keep pointing out these guys as being the bad guys, not the guy that literally assaulted me. I'm like, yeah, they did some, like, questionable things and they were a bit loud and rude. But then again, they didn't throw shit at my head and slam things into the floor. They just did shit. Like,
they were just kind of dumb.
Like, I kind of explained the guy that came in as a country bumpkin, and I probably shouldn't have.
Welcome to Travellers Do the Stupidest Things.
He passed me his card in the card reader and said, my PIN number is, and told me his PIN number and got me to put it in. I've never once done that and never thought, I don't think legally I should have done that. However, like, just to get them out of my head, because you could tell the way they were. Like, if you said, no, you're not getting on, they're flipped. But they were still better than the one dude that assaulted me. Like, I think his friend apologized to me. Like, it's one of those things, it's like, it doesn't matter where you work, you shouldn't get yelled at. Like, obviously, if you work in a prison or something.
Sure.
It's assumed that you're going to have to put up with being yelled at, things thrown at you now and then, and like prison riots. But if you work in like a party setting like I do, you do not go in every day thinking, yes, today I'm gonna nearly face death in the face.
Brad is questioning life.
It's more than questioning life, it's questioning why I'm still alive.
I mean, with me it's luck, with you it's
perseverance?
Sure, let's go with that. I mean, like, there are at least 3 times where there are at least 3 incidents you know what I mean?
Explain.
Incidences in my life where I should have died.
Go on.
I don't know. Well, I mean, a while ago, okay, a while ago I sent you a very long ass voice note about how blah 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 spirituality, blah 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 synchronicity, blah blah blah, I should be dead.
Yeah, but that doesn't explain how you nearly died. We want to hear that shit.
Well, most obvious one, I had I was diagnosed with cancer when I got cancer when I was 16, and my only solid memory of that, I only had 2 solid memories of that. Mum clenching my hand like her life depended on it, and the doctor going, "We have good news and we have bad news."
Yes.
Don't laugh. Don't laugh yet. We have good news and we have bad news. The good news is it's not going to spread. The bad news is if we don't take your kidney out within the next 2 weeks, it's going to explode and kill you.
I also love the fact that, like, we were chatting, was it this week? And you got a call about a kidney scan, and you were just like,
that was my social worker.
Oh, but it's not for another year. I'm like, May, get it.
Right, yeah. I get those done every 2 years. As like blah 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 checkup thing, blah blah blah. But it's
blah blah blah. You nearly died. Blah blah blah.
Yes, blah blah blah. I nearly died.
And what's the other 2 times you nearly died that aren't cancer related?
You're
not really good at this podcast sort of shit, are you?
Fred. I'm having to think. I'm not used to that.
Think.
Yes, hello, baby bread. This is baby bread. We like baby bread. I don't know, just life. Fucking.
Maybe the time you set your hair on fire?
Oh yes, that. If you look really closely at my hair, you will notice that it's all different lengths, roughly. The reason it's all different lengths is because I set it on fire once. Yeah.
How drunk were you?
I wasn't drunk, that's the thing.
Were you high?
Yes.
Okay, that explains it.
I wasn't. I don't know. Like the lighter lit my hair, and not the. And then
So you did it by accident.
Yeah.
But still didn't react quick enough to save it.
I just ran. I just ran straight to the shower, and then
You do realize you could have saved it quicker if you literally just patted your hair. Like, that run is probably the reason that much of it actually burned off.
I didn't think about. Oh, okay.
Bitch,
okay.
have you not heard stop, drop, and roll? Stop moving.
This is how my brain works at the time, and this whole sentiment will prove how much of a fucking frontman I am. Holy shit, my hair's on fire. Holy shit, my hair's on fire. Holy shit, I might die.
It's like hair, shit, death.
Basically,
Bitch, I've shaved all my hair off. Fuck off.
No, it's just holy shit, my hair's on fire. Holy shit, my hair's on fire. Holy shit, this might kill me.
Burns to the scalp would be a bad day. However, it clearly didn't go that far. Although it gave you a weird version of a wolf cut. It's like the time my dad cracked his head open on the time machine and then did it another week later again.
I mean, number 3, if we're going to go off the stupid shit I have done, number 3 is probably related to. I can't name names, but can we use first names? Just
yeah.
Okay.
Unless it's something like only one person in the world is called that.
Okay. Ex-girlfriend. I've 3 ex-girlfriends.
Aww.
I have 3 ex-girlfriends. One of them's called Lauren, and her brother did not like me. And her brother was like the leader of the school bullies, if that makes sense.
Oh, lush.
He was a tough guy, and he liked people to know he was a tough guy.
Oh, I love a bully, me. I absolutely love a bully.
He was a tough guy, and he liked people to know he was a tough guy. So, yeah.
Is it tough guy?
No, as in tough guy.
Actually tough.
Actually tough.
So it's kind of ironic that we're actually calling him a tough guy.
Yeah, he was a tough guy, and like people know he was a tough guy. And when me and her started getting a little more semi-serious, he basically threatened to beat me within an inch of my life. And yeah,
I've just realised you've got like rice in the corner of your lips.
For legal reasons, I can't divulge any more information. You understand?
Oh, I love that.
Wait till my book comes out.
He's actually a hologram. We lost Francis 3 years ago before I even met him.
Yes. The day I met you was so random. Because your hair was green then.
It might have been.
It was. I know it was.
Was it green? I'm tired.
Like, all I remember is talking to Callum about Warhammer. Your hair being green, and I think like one massive bag of chips, or that might have been the week after.
Did I get chicken nuggies that night?
You always get chicken nuggies.
I don't know. No, yeah.
Like we do, like the whole fucking crew just all went to McDonald's, and I think. I just remembered. I think the cream egg McFlurries are gone now. I had one drunk with Daddy bread. No, but I think I went, like, when we just all randomly went to McDonald's, I think that I was just like, ooh, chips. Big bag of chips.
Chips.
Like, I bought like eight McDonald's chips and put them all in the big.
Yes. We should do that again where we just get a load of McDonald's chips and put them in the tray. I really want a Macca's. I want a Mackey's.
A Mackie D's. What's some other stupid shit I've done?
I nearly broke my back.
I
in not secondary school. It wasn't secondary school. In primary school, we had like this climbing frame with like, you know, the long metal monkey bars, not the weird like 2-peg ones, like the proper long actual metal bars.
Yeah.
And for some reason, like I was always bullied, but these two kids let me play with them, and they were playing like undersea diver or something. And they did this thing where they sort of
Is this related to Dickhead?
No. This is way before I met him, like probably over 10 years before I met him.
Okay.
So we're mucking about and they're like jumping under the monkey bars. And I didn't realise this, so I jumped up, hit my head.
Brad, sorry to interrupt, but can you pass me that cushion?
That one?
Yay.
Hit my head. There you go.
Oh,
well done.
Sorry, I
hit my head, sort of flopped back.
Oh, it's not.
And slammed my back right into the floor. So I'm laying there for about 3 minutes. I must have blacked out for like 1. And one of my like would-be best friends for a few years after that looked at me and went, "Are you okay?" I could not talk. I was winded as this was the first time I ever got winded. And they were like, "Oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit." So they go and get the like teachers, and the first thing they do, which you shouldn't do if a kid's just whack their back right into wood chips on the ground, is get me up.
Sure.
So they stand me up, walk me over, and they're like, "You still in pain?" I'm like, "Yes, I'm still in fucking pain." So they sit me on a chair with a cushion. So even worse, they've sat me up very straight after I've had a back injury. Extremely straight. After like a lesson, I'm like, "I'm still in pain." And they're like, it's still going, "Oh, you're a fucking 5-year-old. Of course you're still in pain." So they send me to the ER. And this is like before. Oh. You idiot.
Keep talking. I'm just being a dickhead.
You are getting stared down by the cameraman. Anyway, this is before the NHS wait times, right? So
there we go.
I think I get seen within like an hour. And they're like, "You're fine. We'll check all your movement and shit. You're fine. You probably just got some bruising." And then my dad drives me home. But I still can't get over the fact that like they were like, the best thing to do after this child's we suspect has hurt their back is to fucking move them.
Sure.
Like, this is 2005, not like 1805. Like, do not move the person with a back injury.
So you were like, what, 6?
Probably 5, 6.
5, 6.
It hurt. I can't quite remember the year I was in, but it was like lower school, and our lower school was reception 1, 2, and 3. 3? Or 1 and 2. 1 and 2, I think. And my God, this is the same primary school with the gun and knife scare.
Yes.
This is a shit show, this school. Like, so I had like a major wetting myself problem as like a very young child. Like I was bullied so much for this. Resentedly, like I couldn't say the word. Either way. So they had to make a rule, and this is such a stupid rule. So we're imagining like everyone from like 5 to like 7-ish.
Sure.
We weren't allowed to go into the building at break time to go for a wee. We had to ask.
Yeah, I've never.
And they'd have to unlock the door. So you've got a bunch of 5 to 7-year-olds, kids notorious for wetting themselves, right? That's the age group of, if you don't go when you need to go, you're gonna go. So they had to make...
Okay, question. Which idiot came up with these rules?
I have no idea, but in the like second half of my primary school experience, we were allowed to go in whenever we wanted, which makes no sense, because when you're like over the age of 7 or 8, you're gonna make it to the toilet if you ask a teacher first, and the doors weren't locked. So I think the issue was people were like kids were just running into classrooms and things. But I'm like, we're 5-year-olds. Let us go for a wee. So they had to make a rule specifically to let me go in. And I think there was like a teacher who was always very, very near to the door, so I could run up to them and be like, I need to piss. And my God, did that make a difference? Because I'm like, I don't know why they were, because all the accidents I had were just being told, no, you can't go. Or wait a minute. So it was like the fact they were trusting a 5-year-old's bladder to work. I mean, I did have like a bedwetting thing too, but that was also the thing of like, you've been told in school you have to ask to go. So at night you're like, do I have to ask to go? So I think that was like me as a kid. I'm not a psychopath, I swear.
I can't make those promises, I'm sorry.
Anyway, it was one of those things. It was like, that was a like school, that was the start of my bullying, and then it carried on. It just changed. It's like it went from pissing yourself to being a nose picker to being a literal germ magnet, apparently. So they had a thing where they said like my dead name germs.
Yes.
So they would avoid touching me, and if someone brushed past me, they would scream and they would run and then wipe themselves on another friend, and then it would start like a fucking weird conga line of them brushing against each other. But with more trauma.
Yay, trauma!
Conga trauma. Anyway, that was my primary school experience, and then it went from just saying that shit to just other shit. I will admit, I did piss myself in science in like year 8. And I did again in like, I hid it though.
Science was alright, to be fair.
In my defense, I was like, can I go to the toilet? And they're like, can you wait 5 minutes? I'm like, no! And they didn't let me go, so.
Science was alright, to be fair.
I hid it though.
Oh.
But I admit to it now. I admit to it. But at the end of the day, if you have not pissed yourself as an adult at this point, have you had fun?
Or if you haven't taken the shit in an awkward place.
Oh, I shat myself once in school too. But like, the best bit about this story, like, I don't fucking care saying it because it's fucking funny to me. Little kid me had like a hole in my tights, so I just shimmied it out and pretended it was like a cat or a dog poo. And they're like, that's a human-sized shit. What the fuck?
Oh.
And then like the rumors spread around, so like someone found a cat poo, someone found a dog poo, and I was like, I went to a teacher, I was like, it was mine, I'm sorry.
You could have probably gotten away with that though.
I don't know why I told them. I do not know why I told them.
You could have probably gotten away with that.
Like, I had a sneaky shit.
Yeah, you had a sneaky shit. You could have probably gotten away with that.
Oh my God, it was hilarious. Weirdly enough, they didn't bully me about that. So I guess that's the one time the teachers didn't spread the rumour.
Did you just get to a point where you did so much weird shit, everybody just shrugged their shoulders?
No, because I didn't really do weird shit for who I was, like, for the age group. Like, pissing yourself in, like, first years of primary school, not that big of a deal. Having a shit in your fucking khakis in fucking primary school, not a very big deal. Like, yeah, pissing myself in, like, year 8, kind of a big deal. I did that twice, but only once people knew about. And then I hid it. Not very well. But it was like these things. It's like the year 8 one that disappeared. That was long dead. Like, no one cared about. But it's like the fact that people tease me about it. I was like, I know I'm not the only one who pissed myself, because the teachers told you, like, you're the third one this week, and you just sat there like, right, who are these other 2 fuckers?
I want names, bitch. I want
names. I want places, and I want genders. No, primary school was not a good time for me. It was not a good time, because when it stopped being my problem, so like it went from, oh, I was a crybaby, to your mum borrows money off my mum. Your mum is in debt to like the entire school, and I'm like, fuck. There's even a time, like, my mum promised me, because we had this book fair thing, and I was like, there are 3 books I want. Get them for me before school. Please. So, like, 20p. Something stupid like that is the least she could have done because of how much stress she caused me. And then she's like, I can't, I won't. You have to wait. I'm like, if they're gone, I'm going to be really upset. And she's like, they won't be gone.
And they were gone.
They were gone. And we have a big fight, and then we get home and we still have a big fight. She hides in the bathroom whilst I'm yelling at her. I'm like, I'm a fucking 10-year-old. You're like 38. I don't care what I'm doing. Like, you're older than me. You can literally give me one good slapping on the floor. Like, you shouldn't care. So apparently she calls up my school and has a go. And then afterwards she calls up and goes, do not spread this rumour to anyone. Because she got through to the head, right? She's like, do not spread it. Do not tell anyone. Da-da-da-da. So a day later, I'm in like this special one-on-one class I had because I was an idiot. I wasn't. It was just, they sort of, instead of trying to change the way they taught people, they just dragged you into separate groups, but didn't change any way of teaching you. They just put you in smaller groups. And the smaller groups of people that already hated you. So it's like the tension in this class, like no one wants to be here. So
when we get out of here, it's all every man for himself.
Yeah. I'm in this one-on-one group, so it's this teacher that I knew she hated me. Head calls her. And she's like, I can't right now. I'm in lessons with my dead name. The head tells her, and she has a go at me, making me sob, which causes me to come home the next day, that day, and be like, Mum, what you have done has just made it so not only are kids bullying me, but now the teachers are bullying me. Because you specifically told the head not to tell anyone. They told someone and then told that person, because I heard over the phone, not to say anything or do anything. They did. Just because I was being bratty-ish one day, because all I wanted was some second-hand books after she had done nothing but stolen from us for years, she caused me to have such a breakdown in school. Like, I was crying so hard, I walked into the boys' toilets to wash my face.
And didn't realise it was the boys' toilet?
Luckily, it was in lessons, so no one was around, but I didn't realise it was the boys' toilet. Because it was the downstairs one, and I was a year 6 at the time, so instead of going upstairs, I went downstairs. And it's the other way round. It's the other way round upstairs, so obviously I was, like, sobbing with, like, tears in my eyes, and I, like, walked to the wrong one. God, I hated primary school. It wasn't much better in secondary school, but at least they didn't say it so much to your face.
Yeah. My secondary school vibes it's just a mess.
You were a mess.
You still
are.
I'm just less of a mess now.
I still find it funny because we would have been in the same school at the same time. You just would have been in a different year, so it would have been.
Well, yeah, I was only there for a month, roughly.
Probably the month that I was like off the entire month because I was like, I don't want to go to school. I'm having a migraine. Fuck you, Mum.
I don't know. Maybe.
Turns out we were literally in a class together and really didn't.
That would be funny.
It would have been funny if we literally had a full-on conversation.
Well, to be fair, like, I didn't have my hair. I didn't have long hair like I do now. It was very, very short and blonde. Like, I didn't have hair like I do.
I probably called you a cunt at some point.
Probably.
I probably, like,
I didn't have my hair like I do now. It was short and it was blonde. Like, I need to find, there's probably some old photos of me somewhere.
You'll show me and I'll be like, oh my God, I literally hated you. Oh my God, I thought you were fit. Or it'd be like, oh my God, I remember seeing you. We all call you Nardas. Like, that's the thing. Like, there was. Wait.
No, but the thing.
I think, were you there with the like sixth former who was goth that turned up every day in like a long leather trench coat and had like an awesome.
I know who you're on about, and Okay, like
he was always on the back of the bus.
Yeah, I know who you're on about. Okay, here's the thing. Like, I came out to my brother on the day before his wedding.
Ha.
And like, but like, I know who I never got his name, but like, I'd look at that guy and be like,
he's so cool.
No, not he's so cool. Just be like, he's kind of fit. And
yes.
and I'd be, and then I'd do a double take on myself. Wait a minute, he's a guy.
Wait, he was your bi-awakening?
A little bit.
He was kind of my bi-awakening because I was like, he also had like a girl he hung out with.
No, but little bit, because it's just like, no, I'd be like, he's kind of fit, and then I'd double take on myself and be like, wait a minute, he's a guy. Am I gay?
The hair, like this fucking walked off of a Smiths album, like this guy. Like if you could have, Michael, the goth kid from South Park.
Okay, just to clarify, my bi-awakening was Andy Biersack. I make no apologies for this.
Like this dude, no, but he really did look like sort of a more punky version of Michael from South Park.
Sure.
And he was. So I don't know if you were there when he was in sixth form or if you were there when he was just generally in secondary school. But in secondary school, like, I don't even think he wore the uniform. In sixth form, he must have took the absolute piss just like I did.
Sure.
Like, I was wearing like so many pairs of heels and shit to school in sixth form. It was hilarious.
Well, I mean, like, my general when I was there, I almost said the name. Can't say the name. When I was there, my general attitude, after I got...
Call it Schitt's Creek, because that basically is what it is. After Schitt's Creek.
After Schitt's Creek. Okay, my general attitude for when I... backtrack. After I got kicked out of the third school, let's say, my general attitude... Actually, no. That was that was Manor. Manor was a lot of fun, though. I took the absolute piss when I was at Manor.
Not the one behind R1.
No, starts with an L.
I was gonna say, like, if you were that Manor, I'm like, how did you upgrade?
To be fair,
you
sorry, gonna have to edit.
Shit screen.
Gonna have to edit that out.
Just call it Shit Screen.
Yeah, Schitt's Creek was a bit of an upgrade. It was slightly more of an upgrade.
Oh yeah, because you would have theoretically, you may have been there when it was still an art school.
Sure, but
before it became a normie school, which is a sports academy.
No, my whole vibe was just like, I'm probably going to get sent somewhere else anyway, so let's not take anything too seriously.
You must have done quite a bit to get kicked out, though.
What, kicked?
Said it again.
Sorry. Seriously though,
it takes a lot to get kicked out of that school.
Seriously, my whole vibe was like, I'm probably going to get sent somewhere anyway.
I went, so I did the double program.
Yeah.
So I went to Schitt's Creek and Shitter Creek.
Okay, on a level, like, are we going to get like copyright stricken or whatever if we keep calling the school by its actual name?
No, it's just they can find you.
But they don't have lawyers, do they?
They can find you, as in people can find you. It's called doxing. As in, because I live near that school, people can find me, dude. Anyway.
Oh, right, yeah, it's up. All right, fine.
Anyway.
No, but like on a level, my whole thing was like, I'm probably gonna get booted somewhere else anyway, so I'm not gonna take this too seriously.
You know the other school I went to for the double program? That, I found out recently, was technically Britain's worst school for about a year, and probably still is. And to put into context how bad this was, the second week I went there, I'm walking past the toilets, someone runs out screaming, "There's a girl giving blowjobs." To which I was like, ha 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 ha, funny.
And it was
actually a girl giving blowjobs, so...
Yeah.
But you must have done a lot of shit to get kicked out of Schitt's Creek.
I mean, on a level, it was just like, look, they're probably good. I'm probably going to get moved somewhere else. It was just a case of I'm not going to take this place too seriously because they're probably going to move me somewhere else. I'm probably going to get booted somewhere else.
Yeah.
So let's take the piss. Okay. Example. We're in history class, I think, and I forget the name of the history teacher. But generic questions of like, what year was the Battle of Hastings? I answered the correct answer is 1066. Do you know what I answer? 1069.
Hey!
Everyone laughs.
1069. I wonder what actually happened in 1069.
I answer 1069. Like,
I'm actually looking up what happened in 1069.
Because 69. Like, I didn't actually do anything resembling criminal damage. I just took the absolute piss. Brad, I just took the absolute piss.
Oh.
I didn't take any of it seriously, and eventually it got to a point where they just, well,
ooh.
I either stopped turning up, or they basically pulled my. Well,
the harrowing of the North refers to the brutal slaughter and pillaging of the Northumbrians. Northumbrians.
Okay, so this is before. This is
in 1069 to 1070 by Conqueror William the Conqueror. Oh my god, 100,000 people slaughtered.
So William the Conqueror just shows up and he's just like,
basically,
yeah, you're all...
he's conquered and he's like, fuck it, I'm gonna kill you all.
Well, yeah, he's called William the Conqueror for a reason.
Yeah, because he conquered and his name's William. Yeah, the harrowing of the North. Well, that's what's mostly popping up.
Yeah.
Was William the Conqueror a war criminal? No, because war crime didn't exist back then, so you cannot be a criminal if the law doesn't exist.
Yes. Also, like,
you can't be held up to the standards.
Also, can we please acknowledge the very, very, very brutal irony in the fact that the first English king is French, or the first official English king is French.
Our current monarchy is German, so...
Well, I mean, by the time you get to Will's or Will's kids, the blood will have been diluted a bit.
Yes. By their cousins.
But no, like, I just...
Wait, are we calling that to Siggy? Siggy! The Icelandic cousin of the king.
Siggy. But no, I just took the piss. That
was kind of me in, like, the last year.
After there, I ended up in Staines. After Staines, I ended up, After Staines, I ended up in Hounslow, and after Hounslow, I got sent to the special school.
Oh, special Waynes. No, I shouldn't say it like that, but I nearly went to special school.
I know, you said.
I was a step away from you. You achieved the specialness. I didn't. We're all
I did try and basically do the same shit at the special school I've been doing for ages, but they're basically just like, look.
They're like, that's normal.
No, but they're just like, look, this is our day to day. You can run around in the gym for ages if that's what you want to do, but like, yeah, we're not kicking you out, sorry.
Pat, you're like, fuck, I'm stuck.
Basically.
I took, like, I wish I took the piss more. Because I think if I did it, like, if I was smart and I did it, like, year 9, if I pissed about year 9, I could have still got the grades I got.
No, but my whole vibe was, the most I stay at one school for would be a month to 6 weeks. So my whole vibe was, more souls to torment. Like on a level. I mean, academy. Because, well,
We do agree that if the teacher's not there in 15 minutes, we are legally allowed to leave, right?
Yes, but I think they were the one before. It was that is a masterclass in shit fuckery.
You made it so hard for our editor right now. With the amount of times you've name dropped the school we went to.
Yeah, but the one before was a masterclass in shit fuckery. Like, I'm talking breaking into the teachers' lounge and replacing the sugar with salt. I'm talking deflating the footballs, but only a little bit. so
you were basically Dennis the Menace.
I'm talking deflate.
You're like Dennis the Menace meets Horrid Henry. Had like this weird love child, and then you went, yeah, where the fuck the clean film at and the toilet seats, bitch.
Okay. And I swear this.
Do you have a bit of Tracy Beaker in you?
Yeah, I'm talking deflating the footballs, but only ever so slightly, so you can't kick them properly.
Oh, you twat! You absolute twat! I think I would have found you hilarious, but also I'd be like, oh.
No, you would have loved me.
I would have. You probably would have taken like 3 looks at my mates and gone, nope, double nope. Come with me, child. I'll teach you sin.
No, I probably would have gone, yes, no, maybe.
The blonde, you'd be like, shaggable.
No, I would have looked.
She probably would have had you.
I would have taken one look at Dickhead and gone, yeah, I don't like you. Whoever the third one was.
So there's Crack Baby. You probably would have got on with Crack Baby.
Oh, no, I would have gone, don't like you. Leaves the kid and we'll talk. Come with me.
One of them was a dickhead. Like, we've got Ollie, but we had the original dickhead, who I will call Dickhead. She was so bad. Like, she physically came out to me, and I came out to her. But then she's like, "Don't tell anyone." And then the next day, literally everyone knew. I was like, "What's the point of making me feel like I'm the trusted party if you're literally gonna like tell everyone everything?"
I'm sorry.
And she used me as a shoulder to cry on. But the moment I had an issue, it was like, "No, I can't be asked to deal with your shit. Like, go to the others." Or, "Yeah, but I've had it worse." I'm like, fuck off. Fuck off, you and your privileged ass. Like, nah, they like.
I think by the time I got there, I don't want to say I'd used up all my good ideas or whatever on the
good kush.
On the good kush on like the places before, but it was more the fact that like I was like, I'm not going to be here for very long. I'm not going to use up all the good energy on like these frankly crappy people. I think if
they have to be of certain quality before you even try and diss them.
No. I think if I'd stayed there for much longer, and I had like gotten my foot, I was like solidified my vibe, and like actually properly gone out of my way to piss people off. Then maybe shit might have been different.
You mean if you started a few more fights?
No,
Oh wait, were you ever there for like the random like Schitt's Creek's fights? Where like
I think I saw one.
So there was I think it was a month, and I think I was in 6th form, so you wouldn't have been there.
I think I saw one.
You wouldn't have been there for this, but I was in 6th form, and like there was a whole month of this, which would just be the school would divide in 2.
No, I remember. I think I saw one where it was this random black guy.
Oh yeah, we heard that one. That was an actual fight. I'm talking about this weird phenomenon that happened. Like, so it must have happened at least 10 times over this month or 2 months, and basically somehow the school would divide into 2 and surge at each other, then move over to like...
So like a wall of death, basically.
No, because they were surrounding like 2 people who were going to fight. move over to the field, and then obviously they get called out, and then they fly over to I think they called it lower school. Fly back over. But the thing is, it'd be so many people who were trying to casually look like they were doing something other than swarming. But given the sheer quantity of people and the fact that no one chose to go a different direction, it just looked exactly like it was people leaving a fight. Yeah. And it got to the point where we literally had assemblies like, if you watch a fight, you are legally responsible. Like, if you... It's like, so it is a crime.
You can't really enforce that,
No,
though.
but it's not the fight thing itself. It's if harm comes to another person and you do not report it, you are responsible. No, you can enforce it. It's rare. Obviously, if it's a big load of people, it's not going to happen. But they were trying to teach people because they were like,
Okay. You know what I would have... I'm sorry, but this speaks to who I am as an individual. You know what I would have done if I was still there under that, like with those big fights and so on? I would have been the guy going around to everyone and be like, okay, so who do you want to place your money on?
Yeah, but it wasn't far. It wasn't long enough.
No.
But it wasn't an actual winner.
I would have been... No.
That's no one would have bet on it because you don't understand that people were smart enough to go, they're not going to throw a punch, they're just going to shove each other. And you can't determine who wins if you just shove people. You know what I mean? Like,
no, I know. But I'm just telling you, I would have gone round.
You would have tried.
I would have gone round to everybody and be like, okay, so let's make this interesting. I've got a 5 on person A and a 10 on person B. Who wants to match these odds?
You've got to be careful with like what you see now, because if it is actually, so if you are like, let's say there's 3 people around and someone's filming, and like you might not have anything to do with it, but you're seeing someone literally get stabbed and you're not going to call the ambulance or try and help, then you become responsible. Obviously, you can't be charged for murder or anything, but you have seen a crime being committed, you haven't reported it, and you are physically shown not doing anything. That's when it gets bad. So what they were trying to point out is, if people are filming a fight and your face gets shown for long enough, and you're there not like, obviously they don't think you're going to intervene. And obviously if there's a giant wall of people, you can't just run through people. But if you're there not trying to be like, calm down, or let's say it's less than a swarm of people and you're just there watching the fight, if you're not breaking it up or you're not trying to do anything, you're responsible. Yes, that is true. Legally speaking, it is true. It's very hard to prove, very hard, like people get out of it all the time. However, my school didn't quite realise that the fights going on there were so dangerous. They weren't the dangerous part about it. You want to know what the dangerous part about it, which everyone knows, is the amount of people rushing from one side to the other.
Sure.
The Who crush. Fucking stadium. Hillsborough. Like, they weren't caused by the bad football results. They weren't caused by overcrowding. They were caused by surges of people.
Travis Scott,
surges of people. Yes, there were too many people there, which added to the
Well, to
problem.
be fair, that is on him, because it was at his festival.
That's on him, but the surges, when there's panic, is what causes the actual injuries and causes the danger. Obviously, the more people there are, the worse the surges are. However, instead of my school going, yeah, more people are going to be hurt in the surges and the fights, no one ever threw a punch. Never in my entire school career was there an actual fight where someone threw a goddamn punch. It was, the like round swarms of people that were like 5 thick in a circle.
Yeah.
With the fucking 2 and 3 in the middle, because like someone's friend came in to stack it up and they just shoving each other. They may have hit each other in the face because they were shoving, but they never actually, swung and hit. So the thing that was dangerous was the fact that like the entire school surged from one side of the school to the other.
Oh yes. Oh no, I've just remembered something legendary I did.
Go on.
Oh, what was his name? Mr. Khan, something Asian.
Mr. Carr, something Asian. What?
Mr. Khan,
Just say Mr. Carr.
Mr. Khan.
Khan. I thought you said Carr. I was like, how is Carr Asian?
Mr. Khan, Mr. Bilal, something Asian, and he was an old guy. And and he had this little flask, yeah, and he always had it on him. Oh my god, this was a fucking work of art. And he had this little flask here, and he always, like those little metal flasks you have, and he always had it on him. And he drank bourbon out of this flask
in school.
In school,
fucking legend. I mean, I need it to put up with you, but fucking legend.
Okay. No word of a lie. I swear on my future children that this is 100% true.
If you're telling a lie, I'm going to kidnap your future child, and they better be called Banjo.
That's my dog. You're not kidnapping
your dog. Can be a child.
I spiked his bourbon with piss.
Did you physically piss into the thing, or did you piss into a bottle?
No. It was someone else's piss.
That's even. Mate, that's worse. Like, what was it in a bottle? Or did you just go into the toilets and like scoop it out of a urinal?
Okay, what I did. You know those little funnel things. Those little funnel thing. Okay, it took me ages to figure this out because he only puts it. The only time he'll not have it on him is when Ofsted are there, and he has it in like a fucking drawer in his office. So what I had to do is I had to go in I had to nick the flask. Then I had to go into the science lab and get the funnel. Then I had to get.
You could have stolen the funnel prior to this event. You did it all in one go, which is ballsy, but also stupid, but also very impressive.
Then I paid a bunch of year 7s to piss into the flask.
Please tell me you didn't watch them whilst they pissed.
Of course not. Then I gave like 3 year 7s each a £5, and I was just like, piss into Mr. Khan's flask. Here's a £5.
Oh my god!
And then after I did that, I just took it.
Shakes it to make sure it's nice and mixed.
Yeah, put it back in his desk.
Please tell me you washed your hands at some point.
Put it back in his desk, and then we're good. The next day, there's an assembly, and as was always the case, he takes out his flask, takes a swig, and then goes, "Good morning, insert school name." I'm at the back. Well, actually, no. Well, I wasn't allowed to be at the back, but I'm at the back with all my cronies, fucking howling.
I love how you're like with my cronies, like fucking Edison blowing up Tesla's lab right now.
with all my fucking cronies, fucking howling. He eventually turns to me. He's just like, dead name. Why are you being such a little shit? And I'm like, nothing, sir.
Oh, you should have done like. I don't think you've ever watched The Help, but there's a scene in The Help where one of the maids who's been fired like brings her old employer a chocolate pie, gets her to eat the pie, and doesn't let her employer's mum eat it because it's a revenge pie. And she's like, why can't she have any? And she's like, well, you're eating my shit. She put shit in the pie.
But no, like, that's not...
You should have gone, you just drank piss. You should have, because like he couldn't prove it. They can't prove it.
Sure, but like...
Because if he proved it, he had to admit to drinking alcohol in school.
Sure.
So you could have said that and he can't punish you. So that would have been even more of a power move.
Yeah, but like I don't know. Like that's not the well. That's at least top 3. That's at least top 3 in terms of the shit I've done.
I remember, like, I didn't do much, but
I mean, like, there's also the fact that it wasn't there. It might have been the one in Staines. Which I think was an academy, where I went around the school and and unscrewed all the C's and all the L's off all the doors. So instead of reading room, it reads.
I'm dyslexic. I'm not gonna say it because I'm like, wait, what?
Instead of reading,
ask room.
Yes.
It's their fault for putting like actual unscrewable letters on the doors. Like they should have just had a plaque.
I did that to every single room in the school. It took me about 4 hours, but I did it.
It's like we did our
bin bag, screwdriver, headphones.
I was so petty when it came to my GCSEs that like I was like, if I don't need to come in for a day, I'm not gonna come in. So I would like bunk off and all this other shit. But there's one time after we did our GCSEs and we had like half an hour left of the day. And Neil and they had extra time, so we're like, okay, there's probably, I think it was like a lesson and a tiny bit of time left. So we hid behind, so there was this dance studio upstairs and these stairs and a lift, and there was like a gap behind the lift and the stairs. So we just sat on the floor behind there listening to music and bitching and shit. We only got caught because my friend was laughing.
Is this really crack, baby?
Loudly. We ended up having to go back, but obviously no one said shit. So we went back and we only had like 45 minutes of the lesson left. Like it was so, like by the time you put your bags up, by the time you've got everything out and by the time you've explained why you're late because you had extra time and all this other shit, it was not worth going to that lesson.
Yeah, I didn't really start giving a shit until I went to college.
Like, I started giving less of a shit in uni because I realised no one's going to give a shit if I say anything. Like, no one's going to give a shit if I turn out late. No one's
like,
going to give
when
a shit.
I went to special school, like, the first couple of my first couple of teachers were reasonably okay. Then I got, when did I have Miss Kana? I think that was year 9. I'm pretty sure that was year 9. Miss Kana was brilliant. Like, she was like this fucking like, not Kashmiri, what's the other one?
Kashmiri? That's a jumper.
No, Kashmir is a country, technically.
Kashmir is a jumper.
You're being very racist right now, Brad.
Sorry, I've been dumb. Me, racist?
Not Kashmir, not Bangladesh. Wait.
You're gonna Google countries.
Yes, I am.
Are you literally gonna Google country?
Yes, I'm going to Google the country that I'm thinking of. Well, it's a... India Sikh. Wait, no.
I'm sorry. India Sikh. That's all you're searching.
Fucking... Good... Oh. Sikh independence.
My God. Maybe it's because your whole phone is literally held together by the will that you still have.
Punjabi, that's what I'm thinking of. Yeah, she was this lovely Punjabi woman.
Not Kashmir.
It's close to Kashmir, actually.
Lovely jump. I'm sorry, I can't.
You do realise the Kashmiris arguably have it worse than the Palestinians, right?
Oh no, I'm not saying anything about that. I'm just saying stuff about Kashmir jumpers.
But anyway, like, Miss Kana was this lovely Punjabi woman, and she was strict, but she also took the piss out of literally everybody.
Oh, I fucking love teachers that take the piss out of you. It's like, that's the reason why I like this one guy at work, like, because we just take the piss out of everything.
Like, fucking... Okay, like, I had this mate in, he's dead now, but I had this, like...
R.I.P.
I had this good mate in, like, secondary school who was in a wheelchair and was paralyzed and lived with his grandparents and didn't eat really well. So Miss Carter would take the piss out of him for all the above reasons.
I love that. And let me guess, your mate loved it.
He was a bit of a bitch about it sometimes. I can remember one line was to the effect of, if you just to the effect of, like, if you don't improve your diet, you'll be paralyzed from like the neck down or whatever.
Your mate just double takes like, what? I eat great this. If I knew that guy, I would have called him Hot Wheels.
Like, if you don't start eating better, you'll be paralyzed from the neck down or whatever. Or
God, teachers can be so fucking mean.
No, but she was brilliant. Like, yeah, it's just fucking what else? I'm trying to remember my old class now, and all I can remember is David was a road man.
We love a road man, David.
No, but I was good mates with David, and
was he a David though?
He was a bit of a David.
He was a bit.
I was good mates with David, but the thing with David was, like, his mum was sick or whatever, and he had loads of fucking siblings and that, like little brothers and that, so he kind of had to look after.
He was a dad.
He was basically a dad. So he acted hard and he acted out, but only because of his circumstances.
He basically was a Kenny then. You know, like, yeah, it's hard, and then Karen walks in and he's like, "Hi, baby, are you okay?"
Basically, he acted hard, but only because he did what he felt he had to, basically.
Yeah. Davids are a special creature, aren't they?
Oh,
I have two.
I'm trying to think of what she had like she had like every class she taught, she had like semi-insultish nicknames for everyone.
I love that.
Mine was Boris. Legitimately. Her nickname for me was Boris.
Why?
Because before I had my gorgeous hair, I looked a lot like Boris Johnson.
You do realise someone's now going to draw you as Bojo.
Go ahead. Just
you have to dress as Boris Johnson for Halloween.
But gorgeous hair. I'm not cutting my hair.
It's called a wig.
Okay.
Bojo.
Okay, I'll dress as Boris for Halloween. Job done.
I should get that sexy Trump costume.
Yes.
Jesus Christ.
That's what she called him. She called him 20p.
20p.
As in 50 cent, but crapper.
20p, but with a discount. It's 50 cent, but with a discount.
Yeah, as in 50 cent, but crapper. But I hope she's still there.
Oh, that's such a teacher nickname too.
I hope she's still there. I want to go.
Oh, that is hilarious.
I want to go visit Miss Carner. She was brilliant. Like, there was like teachers I liked. There was Mrs. Carner, who was like, I think I had her for 2 years actually. I think I had her for year 9 and year 10. Then after her was Saroj, I think her name was.
Saroj.
No, she was like name. She was black.
Of course she liked
her.
And
her daughter was pretty fit.
Of course she liked her. Like,
I have a thing for black women.
Yeah, but you shouldn't just sexualize all black women.
I don't sexualize all black women.
Just the majority.
Yeah, just the majority.
Oh my God.
I can't help it, okay?
And there goes 10 subscribers.
Yeah, we'll get them back. But she was, I don't know, she might have been like Somalian or whatever. I honestly can't remember.
Was she a pirate? Sorry, I should have said that.
But there was Miss Carner, there was Mr. Britain.
Oh, I love a Britain.
No, he was the art teacher. He was
Of course he was.
He was so fucking chilled. Like,
he wasn't like a hippie art teacher though, was he?
Medium.
Because you get like the hippie ones and then the ones that take it way too seriously.
No, he was somewhere in the middle. He didn't, as long as you got the shit done, he didn't care. He was just like, I'm going to be sat over here.
Oh, I've got art story.
No, he was just like, I'm going to be sat over here by my desk, filling out. Honestly, I don't know what he did when he was at that computer. He could have been playing Trivial Pursuit for all I know. But
I've got art stories
I mean, like, okay, I'd only ever seen this man get angry at, like, in my experience, I'd only ever seen this man get angry at, like, a student once, and this was, like, for argument's sake, my old best mate, because I don't really talk to him anymore. And, like, he got annoyed at Zach, I'm just going to use his name, Zach, because the motherfucker didn't understand the concept of do your own shit, come up with your own ideas, sort of vibe. He had to physically be like, okay, you, this is what you're doing. Like, do the vibes here, and then they were just like it was so fucking.
Like this guy had to be told step by step how to do something. Yeah,
basically,
like a new level of dumb.
Basically,
art was a weird place. So
and like there was Saroj, no, not Mrs. Carner, Mr. Britton, Kevin, who was basically the head of PE. He was solid as a motherfucker. All of the other, and there was Elaine, the dance teacher, who might have been a lesbian. I'm not entirely sure. Gemma Bracken, who I think was the history teacher, and I deliberately got detention a couple of times whenever it was her turn to take detention because she was fit. And I don't know. There are a couple of others, but like and my first music teacher, who was called Mary, and she ended up fucking off to Australia with one of the PE teachers because they had an affair or whatever.
I have some art stories that include Wally.
Oh, okay, go on.
Right, so GCSEs that all my friendship group take up, and they knew they could take me into the room at break, but they would never, like, invite me. So I was getting upset because I was like, well, you guys could come over to mine, like, tech room at lunch too, but you don't come over. So why should I have to come over to you for art, and you don't come over to me for tech?
Why didn't you do art?
Because I wasn't good at art.
Right, okay.
And we had like this like little fun. They're like, you can come over. I'm like, okay, I'll come over next time you go over then. So I go over. They all have headphones.
Right.
They all deliberately ignore me. So I end up like sat in between Crack Baby and...
Question, and not to interrupt you, but am I ever going to... Didn't you say you wanted me to introduce me to Crack Baby?
I might. It depends, because I think I saap her at the weekend, but...
Alright, continue.
So I'm sat between Crack Baby and Wally, and Wally just refuses to talk to me. He'll like give me a smile every so often, and then Crack Baby will actually takes out their headphones and has a conversation with me. Then like goes back to doing shit. So I just sat there for this entire break on my own, basically, whilst... So I tried to make conversation with other people, and they just do not care. I tried to make conversation with someone who's now trying to sell me fucking sex toys. Because MLMs include sex toys now. Anyway.
Crack Baby selling sex toys.
The next break, I'm like, oh, well, I don't think I'm going to come back to you guys if you're, like, you know, in break doing art. I think I'm going to hang out with this group, because there's this group I sort of made friends with. Basically, it's boys from every single year, plus me and one of my friends from my year. So we're the two oldest, but it's like every single year. Like some of them are only a year younger, some of them are quite a few years younger, but it's like everyone. It's like it's not like I'm hanging out with 2 year 7s whilst I'm in year 9 or something. Like it's a cohesive group of a load of different ages.
Sure.
Don't ask me why.
It just happens.
Why we've got like year 7s, year 8s, year 9s, year 10s, but we just do. So I'm hanging out with them, and then I go back to my friendship group with another lunch wait later, and they're like, "Why didn't you come to art? Why didn't you do this?" I'm like, "Because you don't talk to me." And like every time I brought shit up like that, they just wouldn't acknowledge it.
What was the reason for them like blanking you? Did you ever?
Oh, they always did it.
No, but did you ever find out the reason?
I think the reason was because I was like considered the like lowest one in the social standing. So we had blonde bitch who was I don't want to say a whore, but I think she might have become one. She was really like snobby.
Is she still a whore?
No idea. She was snobby. She was also like, she would lean on everyone for something, and then the moment you needed something, she wouldn't give you anything. She'd have a go at Wally, and I will defend Wally in this. She had a go at him and claimed that like, oh, he couldn't have problems because he had the most money of all of us. That's not how mental issues work, is it? Having money would improve your standpoint mentally. However, you can still be depressed. You can still...
Yeah, it's about how you use it.
Yeah. He was still on medications. He was depressed. He was cutting. It was this, that, and the other. Like, he was not okay.
I'm not okay. I have that on vinyl now.
But then it became a thing of like, I had another... Crack Baby was technically lower income than me, but however, like, the way it really worked, I probably was lower. But I was sort of lower standpoint because I don't think I looked as pretty as the rest, or I wasn't like accepted as much by the rest because I already had the pre-bullying.
Aww.
Because a good majority of our year were people from my school, my old primary school. So when they moved up, they obviously spread the rumours, and then I became this pariah. So they would blank me quite a lot, and it was mainly blonde bitch causing the blanking. When blonde bitch left, I became Wally's shoulder to cry on. I became like their everything, even though before that it was blonde bitch, even though they admit that blonde bitch did nothing to help them. They would just tell blonde bitch their feelings, and then blonde bitch would be like, "Oh, but I'm sad." They
One of those.
They went to levels of like, there was parties both of them had, birthday parties, and they weren't overly popular, these two, but they wouldn't invite me. And they'd have days out where like Crack Baby would go out with them too, and they wouldn't invite me. And it was like that for a few years, and then like slowly they did invite me more. But oh my fucking god, like it was like it was weird because I had the lowest social standing in this group. Like, I was put at the bottom of the pole. I can only describe it as like the Heathers. So you know how the three Heathers are like higher up than Veronica? I was the Veronica. And like just sort of there. So after like that and then sixth form, I was like Wally's best friend, a shoulder to cry on. Like even before that, like in GCSEs I was. And like even before that I was. And then it got to the point where it was like, every time I had a problem, there would be sort of a fight, like he'd sort of cause one. Or like when he had a problem, I'd suggest something that was completely rational and the right answer, and he would end up doing it, but he'd cause a big fight. And then like slowly into uni, we'd have more fights. But the thing is, we always politically disagreed on things. But he'd take it too far.
Wait, politically, in what way?
Like, I mean, just slight disagreement. So, like, he would say something like,
Wait, so not in the sense that, like...
Not completely different. Like, he'd say, oh, there should be no police force altogether. I'm like, even if you didn't have a police force, you'd still have to, like, whittle it out. And even then, you still need some way of getting rid of the criminals.
Sure.
You still need some way of dealing with rapists, with paedophiles and all that. And he's like, oh, well, we'll have social elected bodies. I'm like, yeah, but that's still a police force. It's not what we currently define as a police force, but that is some form of policing. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's not what we currently consider police, and it's better, it could be better. And he's like, oh, well, yeah, no. Fuck off. Just fuck off. Like, what you just said is what I just said, but whatever.
I mean, I could...
But it
is it the case that they aren't wasn't.
They just didn't think of.
Is it the case that they aren't or weren't very academically savvy?
They were. The problem is they weren't realistic. They didn't understand that you can't just. So I don't know if it was the autism. I don't know what it was, but they couldn't understand that in theory doesn't mean in practice. So when I explained to them, in theory, no police force but social governing bodies do make sense. However, in practice, it just takes like the one person you anoint in the social body to actually arrest / get someone to, I don't know, put a bit more pressure than needed on someone's neck and kill them. Like, theory and practice are two very different things. And when we're talking about humans, they're two very, very different things. Like, we're not talking laws of physics. We're talking literal human error and like what happens.
Yes, human error is real.
So that's the fights we would have. Then we'd have like this stupid fight that caused us not to be friends, which was like one of their favorite celebrities dies. They tell me how they died, and I'm like, oh.
Yeah, you said it was some random YouTuber
like,
or whatever.
You know, proper skin cancer, like 3rd degree or whatever the fuck it is. And I went, oh, that would do it. And he's like, oh, you're so insensitive. You're like, nah. I'm like, you know how I approach death. Like, for the last 3 years, I'd been obsessed with funerals, death, and how I perceive it and how I treat it. And he knew exactly how I would tell people if someone died.
Well,
he knew all of
If
the
I ever
shit.
get into a situation where I know I'm going to die, I know how I'm going to die, etc., etc., etc. And if it's, depending on how bad if it's terminal and I have a week to live, I'm jumping on a plane to Switzerland.
But what I'm trying to say is, it's nothing even about that. It's just the fact that I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry. Well, I wasn't even like so sorry. I was just like casual about it because that's the way I am about death. And he knows this. Like, he really knows this because this is one of my big interests, like the funeral industry and all this other shit. And he goes, oh, that's really insensitive. He has family. I'm like, first of all, I didn't say it directly to his family, did I? Second of all, I don't know the guy. Third of all, he's a celebrity. He's nothing to do with me. And
a minor one at that.
And like, third of all, like, everyone knew he was done. Like, this isn't just, you know, out of the blue. And I'm just saying it to you. I'm sorry I offended you, but you know how I treat death, so why are you surprised? He then, something happens, and then I'd be like, look, trying to change the subject. I was already bringing it up because I asked him a few times, like, hey, do you want to come meet Bath? Because Bath and me are doing this thing. Oh, I don't really want to go out with you anymore because I don't feel like every time we talk, we're fighting, and I don't feel like friends. I'm like, I don't feel safe around you.
I know, you showed me the messages.
And I just want to point out, I think about a week before this, we went out for the first time in ages. We sat down, and the first time I ever cried in front of him, I was saying, I've been going through therapy. I've been talking to my therapist, and I'm going to be completely open with you. I feel like I need more out of this friendship than you're giving me. I'm always the solution to your problems. You're never the solution to mine. I'm not asking you to be an agony aunt. I'm asking you to, you know, be a shoulder sometimes. Can you do that? And he sort of nodded along. He didn't fucking care. He just sort of stared at me and didn't say anything. He started more fights whilst I was crying. Turns out he just wanted someone who would never, ever, you know, want anything more than just the like, oh, I'm sorry that happened to you sort of thing.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm glad now, because, like, if I messaged you or Bath right now, like, say you and Slough, and I was like, I'm really feeling down. Is there any way one of you could come to me? If you couldn't come to me, the first thing you do is call me.
Yes.
If you could come to me, you'd be running. If it's those sort of things, like, I know now that I have
I'd be like, give me an hour.
You're the kind of people that I'm like, look, I have nothing at home, I'm starving. Can I come meet one of you guys, get some food or something? Or like, if it was desperate, you get me food. It's things like that. It's like, Ollie, on the other hand, like, once said to me, oh, pack a runaway kit if you want to come. He only mentioned that once. He never mentions, like, is it ready? So, like, if I said I had a really bad fight with my mum, he'd be like, is your kit ready? I'm coming to get you. No. Because he wouldn't be there. Like, if I was really in trouble, it'd take him 3 hours to get to me, even though he only lives about 10 minutes away. On top of that, he wouldn't get out the physical car to come get me. I could die and be decomposing by the time he gets there. Like, I'm glad he's gone. And if he ever watches this, I hope he knows that he hurt me. And I do not feel sorry for him in any way, because I did nothing but help that person.
And if I ever meet you, I will take the absolute fucking piss.
Like, I can't go over how much, like, so I was one of these people that I cannot stand going to school if I don't have to. So I would try and get out of there was this sort of mandatory, like, parents' evening thing for sixth formers. I skipped 2 of the sessions because you're supposed to come to at least 1, and was basically blackmailed by Ollie to go to the 3rd one because he said he'd drive me home.
And he didn't.
I can't remember if he did or didn't. Can't remember now. Anyway, so we're doing A-levels. I don't need to be in school. I could leave. He gets me to stay multiple days after school. I will admit he helped me with some of my work. By help, I mean he proofread it. And then proceeded to criticize every smart point I had. So I had a smart point in, like, English where I was comparing language and comparing how the word boy was used as a racial slur.
Against African Americans?
No, against a Native American. Oh no, against it was an African American, but it was also used against the Native American. And
interesting.
I then linked it to a historical point of why Mr. T changed his name. My friend Wally reads this and goes, doesn't really make sense, or it's a stupid point, or it doesn't, I don't think it's worth it. And I'm like, that's a fucking smart point.
It's a bit of an intellectual rabbit hole, and you might have to explain it a bit.
It was like a historical point. It wasn't like a theoretical point. It was like, this is a historical example.
No, but I'm saying you might have to explain it a bit, but sure, it makes sense.
Yeah, it makes so much sense. And I was like, okay. And there'd be other things like, I'd read something and I'd be like, I read it this way. And like the teacher, even if I read it wrong, the teacher would be like, oh, actually, given that you're dyslexic, even though you read it wrong, that's a good point. And then Ollie would just be like, doesn't mean that. Any point I said, it doesn't mean that. I want to point out, this is the guy that was like so upset that he got lower than he wanted in English, and then compared his results to me and I got higher than him. I'm dyslexic and I was only predicted like the lowest grades. Instead of going, oh my God, I'm so proud of you. Like, I'm upset about my scores, but I'm proud of you. No, he cries. And then when we go into English, he acts like I can't do it. He acts like I'm an idiot. Everything he ever, like any argument we had, if I ever got something wrong or I took a different meaning, let's be honest, the human language, there's so much meaning in it. If I ever took something differently to him, he'd mansplain, and I can use that now because a trans man can mansplain. He'd mansplain it to me and make me feel like an absolute idiot. If I called him out by saying, look, what you're doing is making me sound like an idiot, because he'd always do it in a group chat. Please don't make me look like an idiot in the group chat. If you want to say I'm wrong, say it to me in private and then we can discuss it again in the group chat. No, he'd be like, I don't see why I need to put it in the private chat. If you said it in the group chat, you were wrong. Half the time I wasn't actually physically wrong. There were just 2 differing opinions. It was ridiculous. Like the amount of stress this man caused me, and like I can go every time I talk about it, I think of a new thing he did. I think of a new thing that fucked me up. Like, he was the one who started the whole we're brother and sister.
Yeah.
And then goes, I don't feel safe around you anymore. Like, I could get, like, I don't want to be as close as you anymore, but we can still be friends. But he basically just went, I don't want you to be my sibling anymore. Which is very fucking different and very fucking dark to take from someone that has told you that you were their only true friend.
Yeah, that's
But ironically enough, he said I was his only true friend. And the moment I started getting better people around me, like Bath, like Sausage, like you, like Louis, started bonding with my sister more, starting to think that I could possibly have autism, he didn't feel so special anymore. He said to me before, And I will agree with him. It's a possibility. He was like, I don't think you have autism. I think you have fetal alcohol syndrome.
What's that?
It's what it sounds like. It's when you're in the womb and your mother drinks too much.
Right.
And the reason why is like, you look like you do. There's more to it than that, love. No, there's very distinctive features, and like I've compared myself, and I don't. I definitely have. I think there's definitely something going on that's autism or something, and the fact that like it was clearly a guy that's just like, I don't feel so special anymore because you said you've got something that I do, because it was his thing.
Yeah,
it was definitely his thing. It's the same with like
Didn't you say you tried to bring him to group or whatever?
Yeah,
and he fucked off.
So I told him, look, there's this autism group. I think you'd love it because there's some people here that have like same opinions as you. I think you'd get on with them.
Oh right, it's a different one.
All that other shit. And he just went, I'll think about it. I'll think about it. Like all this time that he was going like, there's no help for me. There's nothing. There's this, that, and like making such a fuss. He doesn't even want to help himself. I'm like, all I did was try and get him more friends. All I did was like try to, help him. Nah, he just wants to sit at home and be the special one. That's what I really think now.
He wants to be the only gay in the village.
It's like so I came out as bi before he came out as pansexual. So I'm not bi, but I came out as bi. And then when I think I started like looking into gender a bit more. I can't quite remember who came out first as like in the trans community, but he was like, I'm trans. And I'm like, I was like, oh, how does that feel to you? Like asking questions. And I'm like, I feel that too. And I was like, because I didn't have the labels. So he helped me out with the labels. And I was like, gender fluid, that sort of fits me. And it does fit me. And I was like, in that case, like, is bisexual the right one? And then I found out pansexual existed. But the thing is, the moment I'd be like, oh, I want to experiment with this or that and whatever, and it just had to be the special one. Like when I cut my hair, like really short for the first time, like a few months ago, because I had the weird fringe.
Yeah, your hair was like there-ish.
Yeah, I cut it it was like a pixie weird cut thing. And he took a while to respond, and like it took me prompting it because like I kind of wanted validation because I didn't want him to say, "Oh, you copied my hair" or something, and I just sort of needed to prompt him to go, and he goes, "Oh, it looks good. It looks very masculine. It looks very gender neutral." No, he said it looks very gender neutral, and I think that was after I said I wanted something more masculine, and it's just it's like this thing that he do physical things to try and prove he liked you or wanted to help you, but then go against it. So he brought me these pronoun badges. And I was like, I can't really wear them to school because if I do, then because it's such a physical thing seen, the teachers will start asking questions, and then that could cause quite a lot of drama at home, and especially if my grandparents find out and things like that. So I can't really wear them at school, but I'm open to saying it to people who ask, which stops it from, if someone asks you and you tell them, they're less likely to spread it. If they just overhear it somewhere, they spread it. And Ollie's like, okay, that makes sense. Your pronouns every day. Doesn't. Never did. I think he only asked once or twice, and that was when other people were with me. And also when I was clearly in a femme day, so he didn't have to change his pronouns for me. So he did that, and then he was like, oh, by the way, don't tell anyone I'm trans. I'm like, well, I'm not going to say your wrong pronouns, so I'm going to say they, them. Is that okay? Because I do not want to wrongly pronoun you. And also, if we're together, knowing my speech patterns, if I'm saying the wrong pronouns, they're going to slip out. Because if I'm saying them naturally to hide his gender, they're going to print in my brain, and I'm going to, keep saying the wrong pronouns, which is going to make him uncomfortable. But if I'm saying they, them, it's easier to switch back, sort of thing. So anytime I got questioned, I was like, I can't tell you their stuff. I can't tell you this. And then slowly they caught on and they're like, why are you using they, them? I'm like, because I do not want to say anything that's wrong. I do not want to mispronounce them. I do not want to hurt them. And I do not want to make my life difficult in the future. Ask them yourself. He never came out to them. I think he did. And this is the annoying point.
Came out to who?
Like the school.
Oh, right.
He came out to most of the teachers and things like that. But the one annoying thing was at prom. So we're taking photos and he's whining and all this other shit. And it gets to like group photos at the end. And teacher wanted one for all the girls and all the boys. And I was like, I was a bit uncomfortable because I didn't really want girls and boy ones. I was just like, I guess I'll go the girls because I look like one today. And Ollie was like, they were doing everything to try and include Ollie into the boy one.
And he was just like, no.
And the teacher was like, can I get one in your own? Because I really want one. He's like, no. I'm like, what if we do one together? What if we do one together? And he looked at me like I was stealing his show. I'm like, you just said no. I'm trying to help you here to make you not feel left out. He was like, I can get why you'd be uncomfortable, but he was in a suit, a lovely suit his parents paid a fortune for, and all this other shit. And like, it was just disgusting the way he was being. It was just awful. Like, this teacher had done nothing but go out of her way and help him. This teacher was a goddess. Like, she was lovely. She was amazing. And he was just there like, no.
I can't say what I want to say for legal reasons.
He was on a new level of just an arse.
A bratty arse.
He was bratty. I'm not going to say he doesn't have all the conditions he claims to have, because I'm not a doctor, but also I do believe that he has all the mental conditions. I do believe that he has all the physical conditions, but I also believe that he was entitled. I do believe that he was white passing, so there was no racism anywhere. I also believe that he was a bit spoiled, and I also believe that he didn't want to build any form of resilience or try to like make anyone else's life more easier. Like, he didn't want to accommodate other people. He wanted them all to accommodate him. Yes, people with autism. Me, because if I get diagnosed with autism, yes, there is a certain ability for other people to make your life easier. However, you as a person who is able should be working on your resilience a bit. If you're crying over every time that you do a bit of English work because you cannot see through, like, because he took everything literally, so I don't know why he thought he was going to be any good at English anyway. But if you are crying at every single point that someone points out, like, I think I read something and I was like, oh, I get this idea from it. And he's like, I get this. It's like saying you were wrong and then got upset about it and all that shit. If that's enough to tip you over the edge, and he's high functioning, it says a lot for him. Like, he is so able to do what he could and should and would do. It's kind of laughable because there's so many people out there who are non-verbal and emotionally could kick his ass. Because, like, he just didn't want to, he didn't want to change anything about himself. Like, his whole process was like, I shouldn't have to change, they should. And yeah, that's true. However, you do have to, change. The world is a dark and miserable place. You've got to be resilient to a certain degree. And, like, there are so many things about him that are going to make sure that he gets, like, bullied or offense thrown at him, that he has to build up some sort of fortitude to help himself in the future. At the current point, he is a teacher.
Really?
I hadn't heard anything more about this. He said year 7s are cute, so I already think he's wrong. But he came out and he did a video game design. He basically said he wasn't ever going to be a teacher. Now he's a teacher. I can't see him getting that far, but also I can see his life being quite miserable. But the problem is it's going to come across as like, he helped kids and all this. I'm like, Yeah, but if you look at how he was as a kid, he may have grown up now, but I still haven't got my apology for him being such an arsehole to me over last year.
Do you think you ever will?
I don't think I ever will. And that's saying a lot, because if my ex-bully, who was my boss, who's quit now, but whatever, if he can apologise, shake my hand, pat me on the back, and be nice to me, after literally bullying me, not to my face, but just, being a bully, why can't this guy, who literally just spouted some absolute bullshit about me, ditched me after nothing but me being his therapist, how can he not have the emotional maturity to say sorry? Or the emotional maturity to say, okay, I can't say I'm sorry, but I can understand now how you were feeling back then, and like in the pub when you cried and this, that, and the other. He is ridiculous to a whole new level. I haven't had a word from him in months, but oh my God, I kind of hope he talks to me again, because I kind of want to see. Or that's the thing. I also think he's the kind of guy who may end up going to the autism group, because he completely forgot, because he forgets a lot of things, because he completely forgot that I go to it.
Yeah.
And if that happens, I'm giving everyone the right just to turn at him and go, leave.
No. I will roast them. I will roast them so much that they end up being barbecue.
Because the thing is, he's probably going to twist it in a way to make me look bad. But then again, what I showed you,
I will roast them.
Like,
they will be barbecue.
I like to think I can think of things from everyone's point of view, right?
Sure.
Or at least be like, okay, devil's advocate, maybe I was wrong here. And yeah, I was a dickhead. I was a little bit insensitive, but he knew how I approached death, because I've said it multiple times, and he knew I was macabre and all this. He knew we always talked about political stuff, and we never disagreed to a point of like, oh, I'm pro murdering children, and he's not. It was stuff. It was things that's like a few degrees different, and still very left leaning.
Versus when me and Baffy talk about politics.
Your things are different entirely. Mine and his was like, he was like, I don't want a police force. I'm like, I don't think we can live without a police force, but our one really, 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 really needs reforming.
Sure.
Whereas he would go ACAB, I go ACAB. However, we're not talking about your cousin David, who literally goes to children's hospitals and lets them play around with his gear and shit. That's although ACAB means all cops are bastards, we aren't talking about David, who is a literal lifesaver who does nothing but like pays for kids' meals and shit. Like, everyone who's ACAB can identify that some police officers are good. However, the police force as itself isn't good.
Well, I mean, like, look at the Met, for example. The Met have been proven repeatedly to be institutionally corrupt. Repeatedly.
But this guy would just be like, no, all of it's shit. And he wouldn't even, like... there's so many things that it's like... He made it so easy to want to have a fight with him. He made it so easy to have a fight with him. He made it so easy for me to go, you know what, I'm not even going to try and convince you. It's just...
So, a lot of his takes were kind of dog shit.
There was, like, times his promises were bullshit too, but there was this time where we'll all go and meet up and play D&D, right?
We still need to play D&D.
He was so for it. He didn't ask any questions. He's like, I'll do it. I made a day specifically because he could make it, because I wanted to do it a day before or something.
Didn't show up.
5 hours before, he goes, is it this type or this type? I tell him the type. He's like, I don't want to do it anymore. I won't come.
Rasklar.
Oh my God, he was... Like, there's so much shit I can say about this guy. Like, he'd fuck everything over. And, like, I should have got it because there was, like, loads of friends that would just slowly cancel when we book something. And it ended up being just me and him. the reason for that was because I don't think any of them wanted to be near him. It's like when he turned up to my birthday, the one before he left me, he gave me the thing for my tattoo, and he said probably 3 sentences to me. This is my 21st.
That was what?
And he didn't even give me a hug. I know
that was what, the year before last year?
He was last year was one of my best birthdays. I did throw up, but it's one of my best birthdays. Because I had Baffy. I love Baff.
I love Baffy.
I love Baff. They've been nothing but a sweetheart to me. I think we've disagreed on things, but we've never raised our voices at each other.
No.
I love her.
I love Baffy.
Yeah.
Okay.
We can dedicate this to Baffy, who couldn't come because she's ill.
Yeah, they have a head cold or something. We love you, bitch.
We love you, bitch. We were Dynasty, and we got sappy at the end.
Yes, we did. I guess that's it. Bye, bitches.
Bye.